Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Mr. Mitchell bringing you the lesson for April 16th. Today is Friday and I am out. So please, if you would, just follow this video tutorial and I'll give you the lesson instructions and I'll just build them in here and then you'll follow along and complete the assignments. So go ahead and you can start by going to your module and clicking on begin here, learning target. And of course, this is where you found the lesson video. All right, by the end of class today, I will be able to differentiate, that means know the difference, between apathy and complacency and make inferences and draw conclusions from chapter 3 of Refugee. I will know that I'm successful when I can analyze the text and score at least an 80% on my exit ticket. All right, go ahead and pop open the text box. I want you to write down everything you already know about refugees. So you're going to do kind of like a brain dump. Give yourself 2 minutes and I'll set my little timer here and I will actually have the timer count down so you do not have to pause the video. And 2 minutes, describe like the information that you've learned over the last couple of classes or something, things you remember from your Adobe Spark project, or things from our reading in the novel. All right, I've got 2 minutes on the clock. Get ready, and you may begin. There are 20 seconds remaining. All right, time is up. What were some of the things that you wrote down? Look back at your text box and then you can submit. Some of the things that I thought of were refugees are displaced people, and it could be for a number of reasons. It could be due to violence or war. Um, it could be a problem with the government or economic crises. It could have they could have a famine, a lack of food or medicine or resources. But a refugee is someone who has to leave their home for one of these reasons. Make sure you've submitted this and then click next. All right. Now, at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a blank document, and then you're going to see the teacher copy. Now, the teacher copy is here just in case you need to refer back to it, and you don't have to replay the video. You'll be able to just click on the teacher copy, but you're going to submit a copy of your notes And we're going to talk about apathy versus complacency, and then you're going to apply it later in your exit ticket. All right, so just take a moment. If you have to pause this video to click your name to open a copy of the document for yourself, go ahead and do that, and I'll get mine up here as well. All right, so this is an activity linked directly to our novel, and we want to talk about specific vocabulary. All right, on your notes, you're going to have to pause the video to do this. You're going to click on one of these pairs of shoes. You're going to watch a video about a refugee story. Each of these are a different refugee. You do not have to watch all three. In fact, I just want you to choose one, and it will, when you click on it, it'll take you into one of the videos. So you're going to watch this video all on your own.
This is the checkers game where grandson...
All right, go ahead and pause this video, and then play the video again once you've watched your selection. All right, click next on your notes, and you're going to pause the video again, but I want you to reflect on what you just saw. And if you have to go back, you can. If you need to reread or rewatch the video, that's fine. But I want you to answer what surprised you, what moved you, and what did you learn? What was something you didn't know before? So we've already kind of done this, but we did it whole group. Now it's your turn to analyze a video and then come up with your own idea. So what was surprising to you, or what was outrageous or shocking? It didn't have to be a new idea, but what is something that gives you some surprise? Next, what emotional response did you have? What was moving? And then lastly, what did you learn? Pause this video, and then you can click next on your notes. All right, being apathetic versus being complacent. You're going to fill in your notes with these underlined words. The first one says, being apathetic means that you don't care about other issues or what other people might be going through. Apathy is sort of you've reserved or resigned yourself to maybe not caring, or it's not important, or you kind of cut yourself off from the feelings of others. You don't interact, or a person doesn't interact. They just don't care about it. Next, being complacent means you're satisfied with how things are going for you. So you don't care about different situations that other people might be going through. So the difference between complacency and apathy is this. Apathy is not caring about others or about other issues. It's not important to you, to a person. Complacency means you're completely satisfied with how your situation is going. Now, complacency may lead to apathy, but they're two different things. When people are apathetic, they don't care about what's going on around them. If you have to look at the teacher notes, you can to get these, or you can pause the video so that you can type them in. Next, you're going to look at this video. This is the one where the boy doesn't have a coat, and the strangers come up to him, and we see their response. Go ahead and you're going to play this. Now, I can't play this and upload my video to YouTube, or it'll get taken down. So you'll have to pause my video in order to play this one. Now, one thing I want to point out to you about that video is it's good that other people help the boy, but I want you to also realize that this isn't always the case for refugees. You know, we looked at some other videos and PSAs, and, you know, the big takeaway there was that if we can see it and it's in front of us, we are more likely to act. But if it's not visible to us, we may actually have, you know, we might not be so quick to act, or at least people in general aren't so quick to act. I'm especially reminded of that one video we watched in class with the guy who had the sign on it with the nasty message, that was like putting refugees down and suggesting that people not help them, and how angry people got. And a couple of the folks even like took his sign and like tried to walk away from him. But then when he had the sign on that said like save the refugees, or like help the refugees, um, everyone pretty much ignored him. Very often, refugees don't look like the people that are in the country that they're going to. They might not speak the same language. They may not have the same customs, or maybe don't eat the same foods. They may have very different religions, and it can be really difficult for people to make a connection to help them. So when you watch the picture or the video of the boy getting the coat, maybe that was easier for people to help him because one, he was a kid and he was there on a bus stop in a familiar place. He spoke the same language, but this isn't always the case with our refugees. The next part is you're going to be tasked with coming up with two responses. This is going to be your opinion. It's going to be your based on your own knowledge base. So, what can happen to refugees when other people are complacent? Again, think back to what you know, the things that you put down in your do now. What are some of those ideas? Go ahead and type out your response. And then when you finish that, move over to the other side. What can happen to refugees when people are apathetic? And remember, if you need the definitions to these two words, you can look back in your notes. That's why you took them. That's why you typed them in. And if you didn't, rewind this video to get the definitions typed in. So on one side, what can happen when people are complacent? And what can happen when people are apathetic? After you've put in both of your responses, you can submit. You'll have to pause this video while you complete this part of the activity. Now that you've submitted your notes, go ahead and click Next on your screen, and you're going to come into the backpack activity. Now that we reviewed and you've kind of thought about like people and how they respond to folks that are displaced, what I want you to think about is putting yourself in that position. Now we have a good understanding of what refugees might go through, and then what the effect may be if someone is not quick to respond, or if they don't get a response from others. Answer these two questions, and you'll just do this in a discussion post, and then as other people have put their responses in, I want you to respond to one other classmate. If you could pack a bag that had only 3 things for yourself as a refugee that does not include food or water, what would you include and why? Okay, so you don't include food and water because those are going to be automatic. All right. So what 3 items would you put? And again, remember, you're going to be traveling a long distance. Number 2, if you are a refugee, what are 3 things that are not food or water that you would put in your bag? All right, so let me reiterate. The first part, if you could pack a bag of only 3 things to give to a refugee, not including food or water, what would you put in it? And number 2, if you were in that position, what are 3 things you would grab, from the house to throw in your backpack on your way out? Make sure you explain why, and you can combine those two into your own unique response. But let's see how many people, what people come up with, and then make sure you respond to one other classmate. All right, go ahead and pause the video. All right, now that you're finished, go ahead and click Next. If you didn't respond to someone, I want you to go back and do that, and go back and do that now. All right, here's the last thing. This is your exit ticket. So I want to walk you through not necessarily the questions, um, but I want to show you how to complete this. So this is a little bit more interactive. You're going to watch a video from Alan Gratz, who is the author of our text, of our novel. This video is like 9 minutes long, but you won't have to watch the entire thing. Once you've answered your 3 questions that come from the video right here, then you can, you can stop. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can certainly. It's pretty interesting to hear him talk and talk about the novel that he wrote. But for questions 1, 2, and 3, you're going to play this video, and then you're going to get your answers. Next, you're going to come down to part 1, and this is from chapter 3 in our novel. And we did get to start some of it, but we didn't finish it. So it'll be your job to read part 1 right here. And then there's one question attached to it. And this is going to be an inference question. So if you need to look back to Thursday's lesson where we talked about what an inference is, go ahead and you can do that. And then question number 5, you're going to read the other part 2 of the chapter, and then you're going to answer that question. Remember that your learning target today was that you would be able to demonstrate your ability to draw conclusions and make inferences, as well as your definition, knowing or differentiating between complacency. Now you need to get an 80%. That's your success criteria, which means you need to get 4 out of 5 of these correct. You do have 1 attempt, but take your time, read carefully, and then submit. As always, if you have any questions, you can always message me, and I'll get back to you either in class on Monday morning or this weekend when I happen to be on. If I see your question, I should be able to respond. Have a great day, be safe, and I will see you when I return. Bye now.